Greetings, Captain. This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a brief review of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I've just seen Man of Steel, I guess the 7th Superman movie? Or is it? No, the 6th, I guess. 6th. The 6th Superman movie, Man of Steel. Zack Snyder directed 300, and unfortunately, he directed Sucker Punch. Yes, and this movie is odd. I'm not going to rant about it too much. It just came out today. Not going to give away any spoilers. But it is a reboot of the movie with Cavill in the role of Superman. And it has some other unknown dude as General Zod. It's apparently sort of a reboot remake of the first two Richard Donner movies. So it has the origin story in flashbacks as he's falling off an oil rig and falling off something else too. And then it has, which is odd that he would be unconscious, but yeah. And also the second Superman movie in which General Zod and his armies show up from the Phantom Zone, having been freed by an asteroid or whatever. The premise, we got Russell Crowe playing the Brandau part, playing Jor-El. We got him fighting off Zod and his armies as they leave the planet. Let me check and see something. All right, back to the thinking. Okay, Michael Shannon plays Zod. I could name all the other actors too, but I won't. You're just gonna have to see it. The movie is Man of Steel. Zack Snyder apparently thought that, well, since Bryan Singer made his version dark and brooding and had like 3 action pieces, I'll just ramp it up tenfold and make everything an action piece, therein losing most of the heart and soul of the story. Because even though they set up these emotional Chris Nolan Batman type of moments with him dark and brooding and not understanding the nature of being pretty much a demigod, not a Boy Scout but a demigod, that he's which he wouldn't be really conflicted because he's Superman, but it's a modernization interpretation of all superhero movies nowadays have to be about a dark brooding Batman sort of, Chris Nolan was involved in this, so had to be sort of a Batman sort of person. But Batman's got a different backstory. Batman's brooding and sad and stuff because his parents were killed by the bad guys. Superman, no, that didn't happen to him. So it should be completely different. Same thing with Spider-Man, he should be different too. No, he's got to be brooding too because that's what they do now. So let's give this generation a little slack there and say, okay, yeah, it's got to be dark and brooding, or they won't watch it. It can't be happy and go like. I say no. Science fiction and fantasy should have some fun stuff again. Superman should be fun. He's a Boy Scout. He's the all-American boy that happens to be a space alien, and he goes and fights the bad guy, General Zod. At times in this movie, it's like he almost wanted to join the bad guy. Now I did like how the bad guys couldn't breathe the Earth's atmosphere, so they had to wear like special breather things. That was kind of a cool idea. And having Superman goes on their ship and then he can't breathe the atmosphere because he got used to Earth's atmosphere, which is a little odd. But I like the idea that they thought about that a little bit. Said, what maybe Kryptonian air is different. And so the villain decides to use a terraforming device called a world engine. I think that's out of the comic books. To try and terraform the Earth and decimate it and turn it into another Krypton. And so he's got this thing going on with this world engine thing, and that's in the story. Zod does that, and that's not really giving away what happens. There's a lot of fighting. There's a battle all through Kansas where they nail a lot of Kansas. I put it in my blog if you want to look at it. And then they mentioned that there was another fight in New York, in which they definitely do a sort of post 9/11 parable thing there, like they did with Avengers last year, and have half of New York get thrashed by the bad guy. Because why not? Because that'll happen. Zack Snyder loves to pound people through buildings and things and CGI and like he did in 300. but so he does it here too with superheroes. And that's probably the one drawback to it, is that there's just so much going on. It's like a blender. If I'd watched this in 3D, it would be impossible to look at it. It's like, okay, you put the action in too much. But I'm going to dial that back and have a little more of the character development and heart and soul in that thing. So basically in the blog, I just said didn't have enough heart and soul in it. It was okay. It's a nice action movie. But like Into Darkness, which wasn't really Star Trek. It's just an action movie with Star Trek in the title. This is Superman, but it's not really Superman. It's an action movie, good action movie, but it's not really Superman. It is better than the sequels. It is better than the third one with Richard Pryor, because that one was terrible. It's definitely better than the fourth one. So it's a little bit better than the third one, and doesn't suck like the fourth one. It's better than the fifth one, which was the other one. So that's a little brief review of it. I'm sure it will be discussed later. Probably do some other review thing. Just doing this so I can make the battery run. But yeah, so yeah, watching it's just that Zack Snyder can't do anything without having lots of stuff blow up in the background. He's kind of got that Michael Bay tendency about him. He's gonna blow up some stuff. Yeah, and so he does a lot of blowing up stuff. It does. They don't mention kryptonite in it at all, which is interesting. They could have, I guess. Yeah, pretty much the fan service that was out there, where they see him in handcuffs in that one picture and whatever. Yeah, yeah. Everybody guessed. Oh yeah, he just like hands himself over at one point. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, you guys are right out there. He wanted to infiltrate the army. He wanted to get into the army base to tell him he was a good guy, basically. That's not giving away anything because everybody figured that one out. Kind of like in the Star Trek movie when everybody figured out who Khan was, and everybody was all like, and everybody producing the movie was all, no, it's not, it's Harriman, and everybody's all, no, it's Khan. This one, oh yeah, General Zod is in it. So yeah, he's in it. So we can say that. And actually, the guy doing Zod did a pretty good job imitating Zod from the late comic books. So yeah. So there you go. That's Superman. That's our Superman movie review. Yeah, the Superman, the Man of Steel. Zack Snyder.